Hi, welcome to our video presentation. My name is Maya Lesinger and I am, you guessed it, a librarian. I work as a library director in Prelog Municipal Library in Croatia. My personal interests include reading, watching movies, watching TV series, playing board games, playing video games, and spending time with my family and friends. I am basically an introvert, and this is one of the reasons my life was not largely impacted by COVID-19 crisis. And as a librarian, I know that our patrons were impacted by the COVID-19 crisis and that our services were necessary and needed in this time of crisis, and that not all people like being at home and doing the things that introverts do. So our library was closed for patrons between March the 19th and May the 4th, and that's why we opened the library on May the 4th, because the force was with us. In this lockdown period, we basically worked a lot of things online, as I think most of the libraries in the world did as well. This year was the year that we got our Eiffel Public Award Library for innovation and for teaching digital skills in an innovative way. So basically our programs online were easy to make, and they did not represent such a challenge that maybe other libraries were faced with. So like I said, we did what every library in the world did. So we read stories, made digital materials for our local kindergartens and our local schools, primary schools mainly. We provided useful links for free literature, movies, gave our patrons who were college students research resources, and shared a couple of quarantine story time calendars, and that's it. I mean, most of the libraries in this crisis were basically doing the same stuff, and that is why after a while our patrons became overwhelmed with the amount of digital materials generated and provided by libraries, schools, other cultural institutions. And it seems at one point that everyone was online and no one was actually using or reading the materials that were provided by countless sources. So we discussed this problem in our library amongst our librarians. I have to say that only 2 of us work in this library, so it was a short discussion. We decided to do a short activity in which we would suggest reading books to our patrons, and reading the titles that maybe they already have in their home libraries, and the titles they were meaning to read but never got around to do it because they were borrowing books in our library. So we wrote a short series of recommended literature, and one of the names that was suggested for everyone to read, because we thought that everyone had that title in their home library, was J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series. What else, of course. So this is a book that connects a lot of generations together. Many of us grew up with that book, and it is still very relevant. People like magic, people like different worlds, it's a fantasy is a way to escape reality, and so we thought that this was the perfect book for all the generations to read, younger generations to read for the first time, and maybe for us older generations to read it again, or to revisit the magic that it has created, and maybe help us cope with the situation that all of us were dealing with. So at that time, we decided to celebrate the book night and dedicate it to the Harry Potter series. We did a lot of activities online, and long story short, this is how we got the inspiration for our virtual exhibition. The name of the exhibition is Wizards Unite the Libraries. It showcases more than 90 screenshots from the Harry Potter Wizards Unite game by Niantic, provided by more than 60 players. We're talking about librarians, retired librarians, library directors, and ordinary people around the world.
For you to understand what I'm talking about, I will take you on a crash course through the game. In order to play this augmented reality game and make magic, battle wizards, magical creatures, and save the world from the peril, you have to have energy. Energy can be found on the map in special places like inns and greenhouses, which are represented by religious and cultural buildings and monuments. Well, it turns out this is the rule everywhere except in our country. From 7 public libraries in our county, none of them are included in the game as places of interest. Naturally, I was shocked. Niantic really needs to fix this ASAP.
So our research began. We posted an inquiry in a couple of groups where players met, asking them for screenshots of their libraries as inns, greenhouses, and fortresses. And we hit the jackpot. Players from around the world shared their local libraries, tiny libraries, mobile libraries, college and memorial libraries, libraries of all kind. And funny thing is, most of the players were actually librarians. I play the game every day, and it is very, very addictive. I'm a Harry Potter fan myself, and it seems that it is a job requirement for being a librarian. With screenshots that you saw came personal messages and stories, how this game and Harry Potter world actually helped them cope with anxiety and stress during lockdown. The task was amusing to them, and it made them sneak out of their houses to catch that library on the map, compete, and deliver as many libraries as they could. With this activity, we managed to get out of our library and to reach so much more people than we initially intended or could have ever imagined. We went beyond our community, state, and continent even. So we have exhibits from different continents, and we are very grateful for this experience, and that is why we wanted to share it with you. So don't look at this virtual exhibition as just pictures of libraries. Look at them as a network of people who love magic, books, and reading. Look at the artwork as stories, as stories they tell about life and struggles and they will become alive and real like the people who helped make the exhibition. So thank you very much, and thank you to all that participated in our activities and helped us make this exhibition.